Okay, so it is, I have made the decision after a year of experimentation of breeding in all different kinds of seasons that really my best bet is going to be to breed in spring and fall. The fall breeding season is coming up October 1st, and that is the beginning of the 2019 breeding season. So these guys are in here for, let's see, these babies are about 2 weeks old. So we got about another 4 weeks to go. And Bon and Breezy will be in here even longer than that. In fact, I may have to pull them out and put them in the kitchen so I can start working on the shed. But what I'm going to end up doing is, the back wall here is, if you can see the whole thing from edge to edge, is 8 feet. The breeding cages, that's a cockatiel cage, but the breeding cages that I use for the parakeets are 2 feet across. So what I want to do is get as many birds in here as I can for each breeding season, because it's only enough for one breeding cycle. So I'm going to put 3 rows of cages against the back wall. The way I'm going to do that is, in the past, these cages are stacked on a shelf, and I put the boxes on alternating sides so that the tower doesn't tip over. So what I'm going to do is I am going to start hanging these cages. I'm going to put boards across the back and across the sides and hang the cages on the board in 3 stacked rows. I will go just below, you see the space that I leave at the top for ventilation? I will go just below that for the top of the first cage, and then put a 2-inch space between cages and hang the second row, and another 2-inch space and hang the third row. So the bottom cages will be perhaps a couple of inches up off the shelves. I'll probably get rid of a couple of the shelves, but leave 1 or 2 just for bits and pieces that I store in here, such as the plates and the minerals and the cleaning stuff and the candling flashlight and such like that. Paper towels, the red cloth that I block the mothers out with. So I'll have one over in the far corner over here, one more to this side of the middle, and one close to the middle over here, so I have a space back here, because I'm going to put a row dead center there, and I have to leave this one moved far enough this way so that I can pull the tray out of the cage without hitting the ones that are hanging right here. And then I'm going to put another row right here towards the front end of the breeding shed, across this section right here. So I'll have 1 row here, 1 in the center on this side, 1, 2, 3 on this side, and then another row over here. So that's going to be 6 rows of 3 cages hanging, not stacked, so they'll be more stable. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to pull these nest boxes off the side. See how it's down there on the side? These breeding cages have doors all over the place. Doors on the side and 3 doors across the front. So right now the nest boxes are mounted on the side with the door propped open. What I'm going to do is mount them here where the food cup is. Put the food cup here in the center door, water cup there, and I've measured it. With these smaller boxes, I can hang one here and still open my big access door, which is important. And then I'll be able to put the cages closer together. Giving this some thought, the cages are going to be closer together, which creates territorial threats between the birds. But I found this lovely little thing with, I can take a piece of poster board and clamp it on the side of a cage and block a bird's vision. So what I'm thinking is, some birds, occasionally I have to block their vision because there's another bird in here that they would prefer to have as a mate, and I need to make that bird visually away from them, block them from seeing them, like I did with Lilith, because she was more interested in Razzle than in Sparky at first. And like I did here with Breezy, because she was more interested in Razzle and Bubba. So, but it's really easy to do. It's just, you know, I just go get a few sheets of poster board and some binder clips and just clip them on the outside of cages. So this cage is completely visually blocked. So these 3 rows across the back are going to be pretty darn close together. So what I was thinking was, I don't want to block them completely because I want to keep up airflow, but since the breeding cages are going to be on the front of the cage, I can put a visual block on this side so that when they're sitting on their breeding cage, no other bird can see them, but they can still get air and see other birds from the back side of their cage. And adjust that as it needs to be adjusted. So there's going to be some major construction in here. I will, of course, take you along on that journey when it happens, but I can't do any of it until these last breeding pairs are out. And we got a long ways to go. At least 3 weeks, probably 4 for these guys. And then these guys are 2 or 3 weeks behind that. So, like I said, I'll probably wait for these 2 to get done, and then I will move Bond and Breezy into the kitchen. Especially once their babies fledge. So, and I got some new paper for the bottom of the cages for when the babies fledge, so you'll see all about that too. Okay, that's it.